and welcome to a short mini-series on Star Wars Battlefront 2, the beta more specifically. So, this game's beta started on October 4th for people who pre-ordered, and then continued until October, I think it's gonna go till the 9th, but it started on the 6th for free, for non-pre-order people. So I'm a non-pre-order person because I wasn't super into the original Battlefront. I liked it, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this game is amazing. Mostly because it lacked content at launch. I ended up buying the game for like $10 years down the road, and I also got the season pass for free, so that was a good deal. And I had a good time with it. It was a competent shooter, even if it wasn't the best game ever. And if it was lacking in content, not worth $60. But Electronic Arts, or EA, is actually trying to rectify that with Battlefront 2. One thing they're doing differently is they're including all three eras, which is a big deal. We need 12 more players. That shouldn't be a problem. So, while we're looking for players, we've got the Assault class, and you have two weapons with different stats. You have the Heavy class with, again, two weapons, Officer class, and Specialist class. Specialist is basically a sniper. Officer is sort of a support character. You have 4 vehicles, or actually 5 vehicles, counting this one down here. You have 2 special units, and then you have your hero characters. Now, interestingly, this game structurally is very similar to Battlefront 2 in a lot of ways. You know, with the 4 classes, the 2 specials. I kind of wish there was a droidica instead of a repeat battle droid. This one has a jetpack, basically. That's the difference. But yeah, I would have been totally down for a droidica. Not gonna lie. I've gotten to play both heroes, albeit briefly. And some of the vehicles. I actually played all of them except the Vulture droid. Not the Vulture droid. This is the Vulture droid. The Tri-Fighter. Can we rotate them? We cannot. You got star cards that you get by completing objectives that actually give you boosts. And this is the game.
Landing incursion complete. Wave 2 units commence assault and activate escort programs. Eliminate all troops encountered. Multi-troop transport must arrive at the palace gates intact. Thwart clone ion disruptor attacks.
So, that's our objective, to stop the clone troopers from destroying the MTT, which is the big tank near the start of the level. It's gonna follow that little blue bar on the top of the screen next to the unit counter. Yes, that's a unit counter. No, that's a health bar for this phase. Galactic Assault is a multi-wave game mode, so we have a variety of different objectives as we progress. So, objective number 1 for the battle droids, or the separatists if you prefer, stop the MTT from being destroyed. So if that meter at the top reaches 0, yeah, game over. If you make it with even a sliver of health, you move on to wave 2, albeit with fewer units. So it's an interesting little combination of gameplay styles. Now, I'm not good at this game, full disclosure. I'm not good at any shooter. Splatoon's the closest I get to being competent at a shooter, and yeah, I'm not even a pro at that. Honestly, this game is just really good to look at for starters, and just really fun. I'm having okay, first death. But hey, this gives me an opportunity to talk about something. So by doing certain objectives and getting certain amounts of kills, assists, doing damage, you get battle points. So that's how you access these things over here. So yes, you want to actually push objectives and balance also taking out other players in order to accrue battle points, and thus you get cool bonuses for doing so. It's a reward system essentially for playing well, which is why I haven't actually gotten to play the heroes much, because I suck at this game. One time I got 5,000 points, started playing as Boba Fett and then immediately died. So also, in case you're wondering, this game does actually have music, but there's actually an option to turn off music for those who are like, I don't know, doing a Let's Play and don't want a million copyright strikes from Disney. So, let's see. I tend to stick with the heavy class because I legitimately think Splatoon This is a little bit odd to say, but I think Splatoon is why I'm good with the heavy class. Because my main in that game is actually currently the heavy Splatling Deco for Splatoon 2. So I like kind of slower, heavier, bulkier type builds. So the yellow bar right now means that we can fire without overheating, because of a buff from the officer class. Oh yeah, by the way, controls, I guess I should talk about those a teensy bit. Right trigger is shoot, left trigger is zoom in, squares activate and interact with objects, X is jump, hold circle, which is new, is crouch, and tapping circle is actually roll, which rolling was one of the big omissions that really kept me from being good at Battlefront 1. So, the MTT is about 3/5 of the way there and hasn't actually gotten hit once, so we're actually doing a really good job at the moment. By the way, the reason I have actually played the beta a little bit, this isn't like going into blind, is I wanted to get all the control settings just right because I tend to be really picky when it comes to control settings. I don't know where they are, so I'm just gonna hide. Hi. Okay, that went well. So yes, getting 5,000 battle points is easier said than done. The best thing to do is to push objectives, which is actually a little bit hard, being the one person to successfully take down a clone trooper with an ion disruptor. I guess talking about my history with the entire franchise, I pretty much started watching Star Wars since I was a little kid. I remember one of the first games I played was actually Star Wars Rogue Leader 2 Rogue Squadron, which by the way is a really good game, and you're gonna hear me going on about that game a lot once we get to one of the later modes in this beta. So another reason I'm doing this is because I kind of want to test the waters, because this is obviously not a game I would normally let's play, but it's a game I'm personally interested in, so I'm interested in if anyone else is curious about what this game looks like and would care to watch. If not, that's cool. I have plenty of videos planned nonetheless. Despair is gonna go on till the end of time, it feels like. So I never finished talking about the controls. L1 and R1 in different combinations are special abilities for each class. So R1 is a shield, which I'm going to be using right now. Very helpful. It's not good at close range because they can easily hit around you, but at distances it's actually pretty good. So left is actually a special star card I got that allows you to detonate a grenade at will, which is not something you can normally do. So you can place it like a mine and then detonate it. So that's really handy in close quarters combat, which we'll be getting into hopefully pretty soon. That's an EMP, which is bad against battle droids. L1 and R1 together gives you a giant Gatling gun. You just spray and pray, essentially. You can cancel all abilities at any time if you so desire. Yeah, this game is actually a ton of fun. It really is. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters, but this particular game is like really enjoyable for me. And part of me feels like it is nostalgia, because I do have a lot of history with this franchise. Even though I don't really care for all of it, namely the prequels, I do really enjoy the original trilogy and even the sequel trilogy to some extent. Hope The Last Jedi is good. What was I saying? And gaming-wise, I actually got more into Star Wars games than the actual movies, believe it or not, mostly because of Rogue Leader. And also the original Battlefront, and Battlefront 2. So we can actually play as a Super Battle Droid now. I know they're like a B2 or something, but I always call them Super Battle Droids because that's what they always called them in like promo materials for Attack of the Clones. One thing that actually does bother me a little bit is that you're fighting phase 2 clone troopers, not phase 1. So they're basically in the Revenge of the Sith look, which I actually don't like as much. Even though I don't like Attack of the Clones as a movie, believe it or not. That's my least favorite Star Wars movie. A lot of people don't like Phantom Menace. I really don't like Attack of the Clones. That's a Jet Trooper. That's one of the special units for the Republic. It's a really powerful unit. It's got a rocket launcher that's super good. And it's just overall a powerhouse. So let's try to avoid any Jet Troopers, shall we? There's regenerating health, and one big difference is even heroes can regenerate health now. Albeit, I don't think they can recover back to full usually, which is a fair trade-off. The 3-player kill streak, and that's a sniper. Prevent the weapon. Okay, I got the kill on that. I didn't think I would. But yeah, the original Battlefront, there's a funny story behind that. PS2s were actually like $150 at the time. So me and my brother wanted the game so badly that we ended up pooling our money together so we could actually buy a PS2 in Battlefront 1. It ended up being a good idea because the PS2 is actually a really good system. You know, eventually leading to play like Ratchet and Clank, Final Fantasy X.
The MTT is in position. Clear the area of clone resistance.
So the MTT actually destroyed the front part palace of Theed, so we can actually enter the palace now. So what we want to do now is infiltrate the palace and override 2 key points, pressing square when we're nearby those 2 key points. This is where things get interesting and a little bit crazy because it's close quarters. It's really stressful. It ends up being just a lot of grenades, which is actually a big problem I have with this game. This is just grenades everywhere. Oh, this hallway's empty. I'm going down this hallway. So I'm gonna use this. That did not work out. Okay. Cool. Normally I would show the officer class and the specialist class, but specialist class is kinda helpful, but kinda not. It can lay down traps, but it's also a sniper class, which doesn't really benefit you. So in this phase in particular, you definitely see a ton of assault and heavy troopers. And I've seen rooms of just shields everywhere. Not even kidding. So they have a hero now. I hear a lightsaber, so that's either Darth Maul or Rey. I don't know which one it is. Okay, they were too focused on other people, so that worked out in my favor. So here's a little mini game. If you press into yellow, you actually get like a chance to just sort of spam without worrying about overheating, but it also can overheat you as well. So you have to balance it. Now, one thing that's actually really good to note in this level in particular, or this phase in particular, is yeah, you actually have a unit cap. If that meter at the top goes down to 0, yeah, you're kind of screwed. So try not to die. But I feel like that's also really obvious to say. See, it just gets kind of hectic and explodey in this part. So I'm actually not a big fan of this. So that's an EMP, that's bad. We might actually lose this, but if you can... Oh shoot. No, we're doing this. Darth Maul's available. Which is actually surprising, because I've noticed Han and Boba Fett were both in Battlefront 1, so no one wants to play them. Everyone wants to play Darth Maul and Rey. Fun fact, the actor who voices Darth Maul in this game actually voiced Secret Apprentice in Star Wars Force Unleashed, another interesting game. I can't say it's a good game, but it's an interesting one. So yeah, Darth Maul's pretty powerful, if you can tell. But I'm also dying. So yeah, one thing new in this game is you can actually retreat and regain some health. Not all, but some. It's super good to get... Oh, maybe you can recover all your health. Now that I look at it. And we lost, but hey. At least I got to play Darth Maul briefly. Now what I'm hoping for,
Initiate self-destruct.
and RNG's a little bit shaky, so I can't guarantee that this will actually be the case. But if the RNG works out in our favor, I actually want to play a round as the clones to sort of show the other side of it. And most likely because you're defending, it's a little bit unbalanced. Currently, that's my big issue with this beta, is it's actually pretty unbalanced. The Separatists have a much harder time getting to the palace and completing all their objectives. I've only seen it happen twice. And one time I was on the Separatist team. Most of the time I lose. The fact that we even got to phase 2 was actually good because most of the rounds I played as the Separatists actually end in a complete wipeout and a failure. So, that sucks. I hope they fix it because that was always a problem in Battlefront 1 was balance. Hey look! We are the clones. Yay. Just like I want. So you have an ATRT, you got a V-Wing, the Clone Wars Y-Wing. Yes, the Clone Wars is acknowledged. Jet Troopers, Wookiee Warriors. Here you play the little turrets, which is always really cool. So you do like strafing. You have Rey, you have Han Solo. Interestingly, they have alternate costumes in this game, which is new. You can actually choose costumes. So if you pre-order the game, Rey will be in her The Last Jedi outfit. So just something to keep in mind if you so desire. Actually, by the time this video goes up, I think the pre-order bonus will have expired. Because I think it has to be pre-ordered by like October 9 to get the full effects. And this video is not going up then, so...
But just in time. Local forces barely fought off the Separatist first wave. Now the Soviets are landing armored MPTs loaded with battle droids. Best bet, you stop the advancing MPT before it reaches the Royal Palace. Got an arsenal of ion disruptors that should do the job. If we fail, well then it gets ugly.
Now, the problem with this game is I don't want to actually destroy the MTT because I want to see the later phases, because that's when it gets like really cool. All the close quarters combat with like Jedi, even if it is a little bit too grenade happy at times. Oh hi. So officers generally have less health, but yeah, can buff other characters. Think like Lucio from Overwatch. Or Mercy. I just think Lucio when I think support, because I usually play one or the other, and I've been actually playing Lucio more lately. At least when I used to play Overwatch. I don't actually have PS Plus anymore, fun fact. I could play V-Wing, but I'm actually going to choose not to, because I actually want to show Starfighter combat in that mode. And yeah, I'm just going to be going on about Rogue Squadron the entire time, I guarantee it. Now, I'm actually really not a fan of FPSs, so that's why I always play in third person, which if you are actually interested, if you hold down on the D-pad, you actually do go into first person, but to me it's claustrophobic and it restricts my field of view, so I actually prefer not using that. If I was a specialist, I could have sniped those guys, but I'm also a terrible sniper, so I probably wouldn't have sniped those guys, even if I was the specialist. Oh, okay. Was I flanked, or... okay. Someone who's just really good. Cool. I haven't played as Rey yet. She's the only one I haven't played as, because everyone wants to play as Rey at the moment. To be fair, I think that'd be pretty cool myself. Okay, why'd that guy just fall over? Either he got sniped, or he disconnected. If you push the PS touchpad, you actually do see like overall stats. To me, that's kind of immersion breaking, so I'm not doing that on purpose. Oh shoot! Not a tall enough hedge to survive this. Try a rocket launcher right now. That'd be nice. Okay. Wait till my health regens a little bit. Try to take out the is that a turret or an actual guy? I can't tell. I can't tell where I'm getting shot from. By the way, the radar actually does say directions, so keep that in mind. So I took out his shield, so that was good. So now I have a shield and he doesn't. I feel like it's way easier to get assists because I like never got assists in Battlefront 1. That MTT is way too close to comfort. Oh, okay. So we got 1300, so we got like 30,000 or 3,700 to get to a hero, which is a little bit unfortunate. I think Han plays pretty similarly to his counterpart in Battlefront 1, so I haven't seen that many Han players. Most people just want to play Rey. Or Darth Maul. Again, Boba Fett plays kind of similarly. He has a couple new specials though, I think. It's been too long since I've actually played Battlefront 1 multiplayer because of PS Plus, so I'm a little bit foggy on a lot of the details. So that green laser there was the LAAT, the Republican ship. So that's an iron disruptor. It will actually reset back to a fixed position if you if it sits too long. By the way, I was gonna try to pick it up, but then it was a trap, so I'm hightailing it out of there. Okay. That was a good attempt. Trying to preserve my shield as much as I can. I'm aiming for his legs, but that didn't quite work out. By the way, that attack never works for me. I try, but it never works. So we can play a Naboo Starfighter and an N1, I think. But I'm gonna stick to the ground, because why? Besides, those cost battle points, so I'm trying to save up. So when you respawn, you typically respawn in a group, and you actually do get buffs for staying with the group you're assigned to every time you respawn, so keep that in mind. It's a lot more strategic, and I actually really like a lot of the decisions they made to try to make the experience better. Because even though I do think it was a little bit overhated, Battlefront 1 is definitely not a great game. That's a tank. I'm not trying to hit the battle droid without angering the tank, except I didn't quite succeed with that. Now one good thing is only jet troopers and the B-2 rocket droids actually have jetpacks, so it doesn't become Jetpack City anymore, which is always nice, that everyone is kind of forced to stay on the ground, a la Battlefront 1 original. There are 2 Battlefront 1s and 2 Battlefront 2s, by the way. I should note. There's the original like Battlefront 1 that was made by Pandemic. And then there's the EA Battlefronts. So I'm gonna be referring to both quite a bit because I do like the original Battlefronts too. Again, I obviously grew up with those. But I do find that a lot of fans are like, these new ones suck and the old ones are great. And I actually don't find that to be entirely the case. I do feel like this game, in particular, not really Battlefront 1, but this game in particular, has merit to actually exist on its own 2 feet, separate from the original Battlefront games. And I think it should exist separately, because it is actually, at least from this beta, incredibly fun and solid. I'm just waiting to see what the single player is to really commit to it. Because if the single player is weak, I'm not going to feel as inclined to get it, because I'm not sure if I will ever get PS Plus again, or at least in the very near future. And by then, the multiplayer is going to be so advanced that I'm going to be outclassed by literally everyone. So I'm kind of leaning towards like a wait and see to see if the single player is good. That's the other thing people always argue, is if the online goes out for Battlefront 1, there'll be no reason to play that. Because there's no single player. So that little bar on the top represents locking on. So I got 500 battle points because I forced the objective forward. Which is cool. Now the MTT is really close, so it's actually trying to bombard us directly. Oh, hi. Well, that was an interesting standoff. So in arcade, or the single-player equivalent of like a skirmish mode, this game has a 10v10 mode, which makes sense because AI is a lot to program at once. So it makes sense that you can't have as many AI as human players, as backwards as that may sound. Okay, I dodged into the tree. We were being flanked anyway, so it didn't really matter, but still, point stands. That could have gone better. So yes, the fact that you get the most battle points at one time for attacking the objective is really good, because it forces people to be like, oh, let's go for the objective, instead of just sort of goofing around. It's always the problem that Splatoon has, of people going more for kills than for turf coverage, and that sometimes seems bad. Let's actually try to watch it, because this is really cool. If we can see it. I want to see it actually happen. See that? This game just looks cool.
Stopping that MTT now. Blast. Shouldn't have come to this. Fall back to
We're not supposed to be here. So dying is actually the fastest way to get out of the void.
We hold back those droids long enough. We can get
Battle points do I even have?
Throne room doors are sealing. Protect the
I do
controls.
miss getting into vehicles on the ground, like in the old Battlefront. That is one thing I will fully admit I do miss. Admit I do miss, not I think I said that wrong. That's Darth Maul, he's tough. Pretty tough. Can't block though. Did I take out Darth Maul? So that's pretty cool. I did. So the blue doesn't give you any bonuses, but it's a surefire, quick cooldown. So it's a risk versus reward kind of a thing. I think it's actually really well done in this game, how if you do an even tighter time window, you actually get an actual bonus.
Not much time.
Overall, this game is a vast improvement over Battlefront 1, as far as I can tell. Again, I have my skepticism whenever EA is involved, but I just feel like it's gonna take a giant screw up for this game to not be good. And look, Ray's available. First try. Pretty cool.
Access to the west door controls.
Now, Rey has different abilities than Darth Maul. She can actually block, which is helpful. She has a mind trick, which reverses left and right controls and up and down controls, which is really cool. She can sense enemies, which is cool. She can do a charge, kind of like Han Solo in the first game and in this game. I think you can still do the charge. Lightsaber combat feels a lot better in this game. It feels heavier, and I really like how heavy it feels. That sounds odd, but yeah, I do like the added weight of the lightsabers.
Too many of them. Doors unsealing. Hold back.
Okay, so I took out Boba Fett at least, and that's what I was trying to do. Yeah, I was just trying to get rid of Boba Fett. It's always good to go after the hero characters whenever possible. So also, by the way, as you might have noticed, if we had whittled them down further, they wouldn't have as many for the last phase, which would have helped a lot. This is going to be a little bit tight, and I might still lose this. This is the throne room. We have to defend this. We have to take out 54 units before they can capture it, a la old school Battlefront. I don't know if I'm even hitting anybody, but I'm just making sure no one approaches that way. Sort of force them to a back exit. That's Darth Maul. That's bad. The clones have infinite reinforcements because they're just trying to protect the point. So the battle droids are trying to actually, push a objective, while their stakes are a lot lower because they just have what am I trying to say? The battle droids have to basically win before they run out of reinforcements. The clones just have to hold out as long as they can, essentially. Just a kind of a different dynamic for both sides. But I like it. Okay, so shields don't work against wrist rockets. Good to know. I know I haven't showed off the other two classes, but I will. Okay. This game is a little bit buggy. It is a beta. There's one guy on the square. That's what it means. But he left, so that's good. I feel like they borrowed a lot from Overwatch, which I'm not complaining because I like Overwatch. But it feels a little bit Overwatchy at times in style. You know, protecting the point, multiple objectives, and stuff like that. Oops, I saw Darth Maul, but I just missed and didn't hit my guys. There's no friendly fire, by the way, so don't worry about that, at least. I think I did whittle him down a little bit, so that was good. Specialist is kind of useless. By the way, I'm actually playing really well today. When I first started, I was actually doing really badly. I couldn't even hit 5,000 battle points consistently, so I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm actually in the top 3, and I'm proud of that. So we only need to take out 2 more, so that's why I was trying to kind of do a strong push. So now we're into overtime. But since no one's on the square, it's draining pretty fast. And then refilled. Yeah, this is very Overwatch though. Okay, now this is actually really bad because they're doing a pretty good job of pushing that point. So I'm gonna use the... or not. Or yes. The Jet Trooper has a rocket launcher, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. Right, R is actually a forward thrust, like that. L is like an upward, like boost upwards. Okay, I missed. That's bad. I love how that happens, though. How you kind of go flying if you actually jetpack wrong. This is actually super hard fought, and I'm happy about this. This is actually really cool. And this is extremely hard fought. You know, it's one of those games where like whoever wins, they totally deserve it, and I love games like that. And we finally took it.
Nicely done, boys. Nicely done.
We got the same outcome either way, same cutscene, I mean.
I'd call this a victory.
But that's Galactic Assault. It's really fun. Each map will actually have a different objective, which is something totally new. So yeah. I'm probably gonna do videos on all the other modes too, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you join me next time for more Star Wars Battlefront 2, at least the beta for now.